Morning, everybody. Morning, everybody.
What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
From the Watchdog, here's your local weather forecast for your Wednesday. Showers with a possible thunderstorm, high of 85. Tonight, mostly cloudy with showers and thunderstorms, a low of 68. And for your Thursday, expect showers with the possibility of thunderstorms and a high of 83. And that's your local weather forecast from the Watchdog.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Good morning, old friends.
Hey, what are you doing here? About to go on the air.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is?
Wake up, fairy princesses, wake up!
Guess what day it is?
Get up before I get you up!
Guess what today is?
It's hump day. Hump day!
This is Wednesday. She calls it over the hump day.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
We ain't one at a time in here. They broadcast me out on the radio. Wear masks, communicating.
Let Wednesday begin!
Hit it!
Live from the Robinson Auto Group studios in the heart of the Ohio Valley, this is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Well, here we go again. Another edition of the Big Gig underway. What's coming up on this Wednesday edition of the show? Wheeling's mayor reactivates a charter-required Economic Development Commission. Glenn's coming in. We're going to talk about what he expects from this new Economic Development Commission. They had their first reading of the idea last night at Wheeling City Council. COVID cases are up in Monongalia County, and there is a crackdown of the bars in Morgantown. We'll talk about that. COVID concerns have caused the cancellation of some fall events, including Ogilvy Fest. Senator Manchin continues raising concerns over post office operations. Plus, we've got UFOs and jetpacks and food delivery and texting and traveling, all to talk about today here on the Watchdog Morning Show. You are going to look for not the world's best day today. Rain showers on and off, maybe some storms in the afternoon. Could see some peaks of sunshine in and out, but it's going to be a take your brelly with you kind of day today. Daytime high should be up to around 83 degrees. Right now, 72 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 72 degrees, excuse me, 72 degrees at my home studios here in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling, and 72 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Welcome to those of you watching us this morning on our YouTube feed, Facebook Live, either one. Happy to have you here. If you watch on YouTube, be sure to like us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that way, whenever we're up and running, anybody here on the radio station is up and running on a live feed, you will officially be notified via text or email. And that way you'll know you want to hurry and quickly go check our YouTube feed. It's also a great place for you to catch the archives of the show. If you did not catch the show and you want to watch it or listen to it, go to YouTube and simply catch the entire show hour by hour on our YouTube feed. And, of course, always on Facebook Live video as well. It's on the Watchdog page. It's on my personal page. And it can be on your page as well. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, it would be very helpful if you would like us and then share the live video. So share the Facebook Live video to all of your friends and followers on your timeline, all right? So just help us out a little bit, get to spread the word, let more people enjoy the show video style. And, of course, if you listen to us on the radio, we thank you for that as well, or TuneIn Radio or the watchdognetwork.com website. Either way, happy to have you there. Happy to have Brother Biff behind the glass, pushing the buttons and keeping everything under control. He is the ringmaster of this circus. Good morning, Brother Biff.
Good morning, Howard.
Everything under control back there?
For now, it is.
Okay, all right. I heard a slight pause there. I always get nervous when I hear that slight pause. I was like, well,
no,
I guess so.
Hey, it's only 7:12. Plenty can happen between now and 9.
And no doubt it will. And absolutely no doubt it will.
I'm sure it will.
That's the way things go. That's the way things go. Well, we came through a summer with basically all of the public events canceled. There were no Heritage Port events. There was no Italian Festival. There was no Blues Fest. There was no anything, really, all because of COVID. Now, as we roll into fall, now football is up and running in most areas, and that's good. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. So that's happening. However, some of the traditional fall events are now falling. All right, yes, a little pun intended there. Some of the fall events are falling by the wayside, Brother Biff. A couple of things announced yesterday that some folks may have been looking forward to that are now not going to be on the agenda. Fort Henry Days set for Ogilvie Park this Labor Day weekend have been canceled. The story, I guess, is that the Wheeling, Ohio County Health Department had okayed the original plans to simply have a reenactment of the Battle of Fort Henry. That's a regular part of Fort Henry Days, and they were going to authorize that. And it was going to be outdoors and socially distanced, and would be on the hillside, and people could easily spread out to watch the event. But as I understand it, when the time came to actually look at what was happening, they also were adding camping, and they were going to have food vendors and other kinds of sales going on, and other activities surrounding the event. I don't know exactly what. I think they usually do like a log carving and that kind of stuff as well as Fort Henry Days itself. And so the health department said, no, the reenactment is fine. You want to have a reenactment on the hillside, open air, people come properly socially distanced and watch the reenactment. That's good, but not the whole full festival activity. Health department officials say it's basically a violation of the governor's executive orders, which prohibit really more than 25 people being on hand. And indeed, the governor had actually canceled all fairs and festivals of the state. So I got the sense from reading an article in the newspaper that Fort Henry Days organizers were a bit distressed by this, and I get it. But the health department says, no, wait a minute. We gave you the okay for one thing, and then you kind of shifted gears on us into something else. So Fort Henry Day, scheduled for this Labor Day weekend at Ogilvie, is canceled. Now, let me quickly say that most of the other events up at Ogilvie for the weekend, including Music Under the Stars that we talked about yesterday, I guess it was, still going on, fireworks still going on, other activities going on, but those are all being done in a socially distanced way. Again, keep in mind, Music Under the Stars on Sunday at 7:30, the orchestra, the symphony orchestra, will be under the stars at the Ogilvie Amphitheater, but there will be no audience where the orchestra is. They will, however, pipe the orchestra's sound into a big speaker bank over at the lake, and you can go to the lake and, properly socially distance, bring your own chairs, bring your own blankets, all that kind of stuff, spread out, and listen to the symphony on the speakers, and then there will be fireworks. But again, those things are still going on because those are going to be socially distant events. I don't know what else is going on. There's some other stuff going on at Ogilvie as well. But those are being permitted because those are being set up in a socially distant and officially legal way. So Fort Henry Day is off the agenda, but the other parts, and I don't know, I got the sense that there's some real acrimony going on here. I would assume, and we all know what happens when we assume, Biff.
Yes, we do.
But I would assume that if Fort Henry Day's organizers were to go back and say, all right, we're going to roll this back and just have the reenactment again like we were originally planning to do, only the reenactment, nothing else, I would think they could probably do that, and Health Department would say, okay, because they said okay to that. So, but I don't know, it's going to happen. And again, I think right now there's just a little like, why did you cancel our event kind of thing. So we'll see what happens with that. And then probably affecting more people, Brother Biff, it would have been the 43rd annual one. God help me, I remember the first one. I remember being there for the very first one. I'm talking about Ogilvie Fest. It has been canceled as well. And I talked to some folks at Ogilvie about this a few weeks ago, and they said, we don't know. We're debating it. We're trying to figure out, can we do it in a socially responsible way? And eventually, apparently, the folks at Ogilvie Resort have decided that the smart move is simply to cancel Ogilvie Fest. Here are the words of the Ogilvie release. In the interest of maintaining the health and safety of our guests, the 43rd annual Ogilvie Fest has been canceled. However, there will be a variety of socially distanced activities during the fall foliage weekend, October 2nd to the 4th, and they'll tell us more about that, I guess, as time goes by. So there's still, as with this Labor Day weekend, during what would traditionally be Ogilvie Fest weekend, they're going to have some events, but it's not going to be the official Ogilvie Fest. I know that the plans at Site 1, which is what they used to call the Ohio County Fair, had already been canceled quite some time ago. And I guess Ogilvie Fest itself now is canceled. 43rd annual event now gone. But again, Biffy, I remember the first one. I remember when and the first Ogilvie Fest, literally they had gridlock. We talk about Festival of Lights traffic, and we talk about Ogilvie Fest and so on, and we talk about traffic being a real traffic jam, and it is. But the first year, it was literally gridlock. Everybody coming and going got to the point where nobody could go anywhere. It just was like, okay, we're all stuck. It was like a Chinese puzzle all messed up. It was a mess. And I sang at the first Ogilvie Fest. I was invited to sing.
What did you sing?
I sang the Ogilvie Fest song. I can't. Ogilvie Fest, it's the greatest fest of all. Oh, I forget how it goes, but Ogilvie Park. Anyways, I can't remember it. My dear old friend, now the late Mike Westbury, had a big band sound here in the Upper Ohio Valley, and he played at Ogilvie Fest every year, the Mike Westbury Band. And he wrote the Ogilvie Fest song, and I know it went Ogilvie Fest, the greatest fest of all is at Ogilvie. And I sang that song. I sang that song on the stage of Glessner Auditorium. I was invited to be the official singer of the song there. I did that actually a couple years in a row. So,
is there pictures or anything of this?
There are probably pictures somewhere, to be honest. I don't know about there was no videos. 43 years ago, there was no video or even audio probably, but there probably are pictures there. I also used to every year, Biffy, at Ogilvy Fest, at what they call the Ohio County Fair, which was up at Site 1, and it's where they had a lot of the farm displays and that kind of stuff, and again, up until this year, they've always still had that. They used to have a cow milking contest every year.
Yeah.
I was always in the cow milking contest. I know there are pictures of that, of me trying to milk the cow. And oh my God, you grab those big teeth and you start to squish. And it looks so easy, right? I mean, people who are milking a cow, you watch a picture of somebody on a farm, and just the milk comes out, right? No, it doesn't work that way. Those cows can be recalcitrant. And I'm just grabbing them and I'm squeezing. It's coming out. Come on, squeeze it harder. Give me some milk. I want some milk. Nothing's coming out. The late, and this is long before your time, Biffy, one of the wonderful writers for the newspaper was Kitty Jefferson Depkin. Kitty was a very bizarre woman. I mean, just great big woman, big tall woman. I loved her. She really had mentored me in some ways, and she was just an absolute delight. And Kitty and I would often go into competition on the cow milking contest, and she would always win. And I said, Kitty, how come what's your story? I will tell you the story. I use a feather boa, and she would take this pink feather boa and wrap it around the cow's udder.
Aw.
Yeah. And so I tried that one time too. I said, well, I'll try anything. I'll try the pink boa. Didn't work for me. Did work for Kitty. I did eventually by the last few times I did the cow milking, Biff, I did get some milk out. I did finally get a few little a couple splashes in the bucket. And I was proud of that. I was very proud of that. Anyway, those the early days of Ogilvy Fest were a lot of fun. And always the German Rathskeller for kielbasa and bratwurst. And, of course, beer.
Gotta have beer.
Beer. That was always a key part of Ogilvy Fest for me, was the German Rathskeller. And then after a few bratwursts and a few other beers, then I would go out on the German dance floor. How did that song go? Ziggy, 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 zig, 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 or something like that. They would all shout that, and then you go out and start to dance. Those are my Ogilvy Fest experiences. From the old days. As I got a bit older, the kids were born. The kids, we were up there, we just bring them up for they were in the bands that performed. And then as the kids grew out of the bands, we kind of faded away. We have not gone to Ogilvy Fest for a few years, but it was fun. Anyways, but I will not be there this year because ain't gonna be none. 43rd annual Ogilvy Fest is canceled. So just as we had many summer events canceled, we now have fall events going off the agenda as well. So I thought I would share that with you here as we get up and running this morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Coming up next hour, we're going to talk to Wheeling's Mayor. Glenn Elliott's coming by. They are reactivating the Economic Development Committee. It actually is a requirement of the city charter. City charter passed way back in 92. Again, I remember that as well. And part of the charter is the mayor is to have an economic development commission, because that was really seen to be critical. And I think Mayor McKenzie may have appointed a commission. I know Jack Lippard had one when he was the first mayor. And then I don't know about Nick I just can't remember if Nick Sparshane had one or not. But anyways, Mayor Elliott is reactivating the commission or committee. And I'm curious as to what exactly he thinks it's going to do and what the game plan will be. So he's in next hour to talk to us about that. And coming up in just a minute, here's a big surprise. They're cracking down on bars in Monongalia County, as Monongalia County already is seeing a big increase in COVID-19. I've got that coming up next for you here on the Watchdog Morning Show.
From the Watchdog Network, right now, traffic. Here's the latest from the Robinson Auto Group Traffic Center.
Traffic near the Highlands.
I was going to ask you about that. Let me look here and see. Let's see. It usually comes in at night, so let me look into last night. Nope, doesn't look like it. Nope, don't think so. Let me do a quick search. Let me hit search in my email box. Search. Now. Nope, I don't think I got one last night. Nope. So, yeah, I got news from Shelby. So, okay. Yeah, I don't see a Darnell here. So keep an eye out. Maybe he'll throw it in later. One never knows. Yes, sir. And that's all we got. Yep, that's it. That'll get us through till we turn things over to Rocky, and he wasn't sure who was coming in. Maybe you may be caught off the bench again, Biffy. Who knows? That's right. Well, you're pretty good at helping me with the Jim Justice story. So if you need to, you can really hop in with Rocky as well. Yeah, we've usually done, although Rocky was jokingly complaining about that yesterday. He goes, it's hard to come up with any topics. And half the stuff I do, I'm driving in, Howard's already talking about it in the morning. That's right. Yeah, that's okay. We're hitting the high points, that's for sure.
And now offering their $10 meal deal every day of the week. Get one entree and one sidecar for just $10. Pick from steak, wings, ribs, and more. Call in or order online at thelube.com. And follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their latest specials and promotions.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together we will get through this.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
From the Watchdog, here's your local weather forecast for your Wednesday. Showers with a possible thunderstorm, high of 85. Tonight, mostly cloudy with showers and thunderstorms, a low of 68. And for your Thursday, expect showers with the possibility of thunderstorms and a high of 83. And that's your local weather forecast from the Watchdog.
You can now watch the Legislative Watchdogs every Wednesday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. on Facebook Live. Talk radio taken to the next level. Only on the Watchdog. Give us a call and tell us what you're thinking. Locally, 304-214-1600. Out of the area, toll free, 866-514-1600 or 304-232-2222. Talk.
Watch out! He could climb on his soapbox at any time. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
It is 72 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport, 72 here at my home studio, 72 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Monongalia County, home of WVU, of course, continues to show an increase in its average COVID-19 cases just a couple of days after the university retargeted its testing efforts. The county went up from a 7-day rolling average of 10.1 cases on Monday to 15.5 cases on Tuesday, putting Mon County solidly in the orange category. Now, if the county is still in the orange on Saturday night, high school games will be on hold, and the county school system will be forced to go to all online and remote learning next week when the schools officially begin. And some of the tweets coming out don't sound very good. Morgantown Athletics Twitter feed, quote, "The number in Monongalia County is 15.15. That is very orange. Enjoy this week of athletics. 4 exclamation points. Might be all we get for our young people." 43 new cases added to the COVID dashboard over the weekend since testing began in late July. 215 students and 4 faculty members have been tested positive. The university is working hard at trying to keep the students properly socially distant, and when they do have cases, to come up with quarantine. I think they're putting them all in one particular dormitory, for example, and they're being very, the crackdown. One class, for example, did not use assigned seating. You're supposed to have assigned seating, so each student is in the same seat every day, day after day. One class did not have assigned seating, and a case came out of that at WVU, so that whole class has gone into quarantine. So Monongalia County is showing a big jump. We told you yesterday when the map came out on Monday, virtually the entire northern part of the state was green except for Mon County, which was orange. And actually yesterday, Brooke County went down into the yellow category as well. The entire Panhandle had been all green on the governor's color-coded map. Now the Brooke County is in yellow. The rest of us are still in green. Again, Mon County in the northern part of the state now in the orange category. And quoting the athletics feed, very, very orange in Mon County. Over the weekend, this past weekend, not surprisingly, I shouldn't say not surprisingly. The fact that the bars were doing bad things is not surprising. But the health department cracked down. A task force from the Monongalia County Health Department, as well as the ABCA and state troopers, went around into Morgantown to many of the bars and cited several Morgantown bars over the weekend, trying to make sure that they're not serving alcohol without food and also adhering to all the COVID-19 guidance here. So Dr. Smith, who was the executive director of the Morgantown Health Department, said their team found common violations among several establishments. In other words, they're all doing some of the same problems, like basically not doing proper social distancing, not wearing face coverings, overcrowding, certainly, among the problems they found in the Morgantown area. So Morgantown bars are being cited. Monongalia County cases are rising. Biffy, this is the problem. If we don't play by the rules, if we don't follow the guidelines, nobody's gonna be happy with what happens next.
Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is follow the expletive guidelines, and this won't happen.
Yeah, that's right. Right, as the governor said, follow the Everett guidelines. Just do what you're supposed to do, and hopefully all will be well, and the bars can stay open, and schools can open, and football can play, and so on. But again, Mon County right now in the orange category, and going the wrong way. If it goes too much further the wrong way, they're going to end up having to deal with no football and full-time remote learning, and parents won't like that. Why are they doing that? What's going on? Because people couldn't follow the guidelines. Simple as that. All right, we're going to be talking more about this as the morning goes on. The State Department of Education came up with a list of guidelines on what to do if a kid in school is identified as COVID positive. We'll talk about that in just a bit. And we'll talk about the weather. Yeah, we'll talk about the weather with Zach Patty coming up after we check into the headlines right now. So for that, we'll go to the news desk of the Big 7, plus Mr. DeFabio is here with their morning sports report. 7:34, 26 before the hour, 72 degrees here on the Watchdog Morning Show.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now...
The goal, no matter what the treatment is the same. Help and continued growth and recovery. Go to helpandhopewv.org for more information.
It's the Drive Forward event at Thomas Auto Centers, and it's a great time to buy. Get 0% APR on select vehicles. Get employee pricing on all new Jeeps, including the Gladiator. And take a test drive to get an entry to win an entertainment center with a 9-foot outdoor big screen and 1080p projector, no purchase needed. Only at Thomas.
Get the best deal. Thomas Auto Centers. Thomas.
You're listening to The Watchdog, now on FM at 97.7 and 98.1. Sounds so clear. You can hear Bill DeFabio's mustache grow. The Watchdog, live and local talk radio, just the way you like it.
Conversation you care about from people you know. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
If you are watching our Facebook Live video feed or our YouTube feed, and I appreciate the fact that you do get a little glimpse inside the home studio here. Let me adjust the home studio camera just a tiny bit. There we go. And what you may notice is a little something weird in my nose because Biffy, the big nosebleed began again this morning.
Oh, not again.
It began again. Now, I do have the doc had given me super duper stuff to fix it up. He said, if it happens while you're on the air again, just stick this up your nose and it'll stop it from bleeding and you won't have any problems and I won't have to bleed all over my desk like I did once before. So, but one thing I've learned is this little, so if you're watching on video, I'm sorry, people. Yeah, there's a little something hanging out of my nose. It's not a booger or anything. It's actually this stoppage stuff that the doc gave me. Two things I've learned about it. Number one is smells. And number two, it tickles. It tickles my nose. So. But the good news is, hopefully, I won't be bleeding all over my desk like I did that one time where it looked like a murder scene was here. So, but if you are watching on Facebook Live video, you're probably going, what's that? Is there something, what the hell's going on with his nose? Yeah, I had to pack it with this stuff that the doc told me to pack it with. So I just like to share with you. That way you won't be trying to figure it out. I'll just be honest with you and tell you the truth. And if you are watching on Facebook Live video or our YouTube feed, thank you for that. I very much appreciate it. Let's head over to the Big 7, WTRF TV, and welcome in from Channel 7, the morning meteorologist, Zach Petty. Good morning, Zach.
Well, good morning, Howard. How are you today?
You know, I'm depressed. I'm realizing that it's getting dark earlier at night, and I'm not waking up to sunshine anymore. I'm not waking up to the light anymore. I'm waking up in the dark now until the sun finally comes out, which I guess just means we're in September and heading closer and closer to the official beginning of fall, right?
Yes, sir. The sun keeps cresting up into the sky later and later, but of course we do have what would it be, fall back. We do have the clocks turning back an hour here in the coming weeks, I think. I think the clocks are turning back, I think, off the top of my head in the next 3 or 4 weeks. I'm probably wrong on that because I'm thinking out on a limb, but we should be reverting back. So you might be able to see the sunrise a little earlier soon when we turn the clocks back. But again, it looks like we're going to be losing at least another 76 minutes in terms of daylight as we head through the month of September whenever we close things out on September 30th.
I mean, it happens every year. I shouldn't be surprised. It's just, it really struck me this morning. Frequently, usually the last couple of months, I wake up and at least there's light beginning to stream through the window, but no light through the window this morning. It's just dark as I woke up. There's light's coming in now, but when I wake up, it's just dark outside, and it gets dark earlier. So, but that's again, fall is coming. Depending on how you define fall. What's the official autumnal equinox is when? Do you know when that is, Zach?
The autumnal equinox is September 22nd. 22nd. Is whenever a fall officially starts, turning to the astronomical season. But meteorological fall actually began yesterday. We transition into there where we do meteorological summer, and that's from June to August. And since we crested into September, we officially kicked off meteorological fall throughout the world yesterday.
All right. We're looking for kind of a gloomy day today, pretty much, right?
Yep, I had to break out the first on-air appearance for the crappy weather, Ty. We had the gray skies is what we're seeing. We have raindrops on it and overcast skies. Gray, Ty, gloomy-looking day expected today, but there could be some brief periods of some sunlight. It looks like that chance is going to be later on into your afternoon, but there could be a stray sprinkle, if not a shower, popping up before lunch, but I do expect more substantial rain and the possibility of a thunderstorm or two, and some of them could turn feisty and pop up a severe thunderstorm later on into your afternoon and evening. But again, just a dreary-looking day with expected highs back into the low to mid-80s.
I didn't see it. I thought I heard some rain overnight when I sort of woke up in the middle of the night at one point. I thought I heard a nice, wouldn't call it a downpour, but a nice, good, steady, something more than a sprinkle. But at any rate, we had rain overnight, right?
Yes, that is correct. Whenever you were waking up in the middle of the night, I was actually starting my morning. I actually drove in with some pretty heavy rain that was falling, pretty substantial flooding, especially on the roadways right around 2:30 heading on that I-470, I-70 exchange. I actually had to break out the umbrella to run into work this morning and got the chute a little wet, so I wasn't too happy about that. But we definitely had some pretty prevalent rain throughout portions of southeastern Ohio and the northern panhandle. It looks like radar was estimating right around 0.2 of an inch, where I've seen upwards of a quarter or 3/4 of an inch of rain. So certainly a good soaking rain, and again, we could be adding maybe another 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch on top of that once the day finishes off.
Yeah, I didn't open the door to see it, but it just sounded like a pretty good strong shower coming down. And you're right around 2:30 is the time I got up. So
yep, it was.
That sounds about right.
It was a good rain.
All right, but we are looking forward to as the next few days go along. The weekend is going to give us a little better weather, right?
Absolutely. The weekend, it looks like Friday afternoon as well as extending into Sunday is the bright spot in terms of that 7-day forecast. We're going to notice a cold front's going to be sweeping through Thursday, and so we're going to have the chance for those morning and afternoon showers present for your Thursday. Showery activity should be wrapping up early Friday morning in the latter half of your Friday, so getting ready for kickoff for Mountain State football, Friday night football, as well as extending into Saturday and Sunday. You'll be trading the umbrellas in for the sunglasses. I expect to see mostly, if not fully, sunny skies, so the bright blue and abundant sunshine should be raining in on the Ohio Valley. We'll be closer to seasonable temperatures as well, with highs back into the upper 70s and low 80s.
All right, that doesn't sound too bad for the weekend. And then I've lost my forecast here. What do we look forward to going into the beginning of next week? I can't find my paper here. You're looking at, maybe a little bit of rain early on Monday, in Monday, but Tuesday looks pretty good, I guess, right?
Yes, so it looks like Labor Day, the holiday itself, is looking partly cloudy. It's looking like radar is trending to see a pop-up shower, maybe even isolated thunderstorm into your afternoon. But if you have any sort of outdoor activities planned, looks like Sunday or maybe even Saturday would be an all-go event for that. You just might have to dodge a few raindrops if you want to keep the holiday parties on Monday. But again, nothing too substantial. And then as we round off your day on Tuesday, I do expect to see, again, broken clouds, if not partly to mostly sunny skies, and just a good-looking day as of right now for Tuesday.
All right. But again, today, it's just, you might want to take the umbrella with you today. Might see a little bit of sun, but mainly clouds and even some rain and maybe even a storm. So it's a umbrella kind of day. I didn't get a chance to watch on TV today, so I missed the bad weather tie. Biffy, did you catch his bad weather tie?
You know what? I forgot to even pay attention to the tie, but when they go here before
Biff, how could you forget that? It was probably the highlight of the morning news on Channel 7 was his tie, probably.
I'll catch it when Zach does the cut-ins. I had other stuff I was doing this morning. It was
okay. All right,
it was kind of busy. Right. And by the way, I should mention I found this on the calendar, and actually somebody called and reminded me. Daylight savings time ends November 1st.
Yep.
That's when
November 1st. Okay.
Yep, that's when it ends.
So you see, whenever you put me on cusp, I don't do well, so I had to get the facts straight. So I appreciate everyone viewing to correct me. I certainly am wrong anytime I try to go off the cusp.
Well, I'll tell you one thing is whenever we make a mistake, someone is quick to call it to our attention.
That is true.
Very seldom will someone just say, hey, I wanted to call and say what a good job you're doing. No, we don't get that. We get the, you're getting the wrong date there. It's not daylight savings. That guy's all wrong. Just like a weatherman, he's all wrong.
Yep, sounds about right. You get the thick skin, but I guess something that we deal with here in the meteorological community. But everyone says whenever you're wrong, but most times, which I'm sure you and Biff can now attest to, I haven't been too wrong whenever we talk morning weather, and especially looking at least in the near term, at least the day whenever we go through like the daily breakdown. I haven't been too far off in terms of temperatures or weather conditions, so I think I'm doing an okay job.
I think you're doing a fine job. And again, we always have to remember that once you get past a couple of days, I won't say it's all guesswork. I mean, there's science to it, but it's one thing to predict today and tomorrow and maybe, Friday's weather. It's something else to be starting to look out, 6-7 days, because things can change. And that's why we have you on here otherwise we only need you once a week, Zach.
Yeah, exactly. There's always an uncertainty as you get farther out, like you said, but there is the science behind it, so that's why we go to school for what we do, and we try to keep as much science and facts in it to bring the most accurate forecast to everyone, no matter where we're at.
All right, sounds good. Zach, appreciate your time this morning. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have yourself a great day.
Sounds good. Thank you. You too, guys.
All right, Zach Petty from the Big 7, WTRF TV, morning meteorologist extraordinaire. So we are looking for a high around 83 today. It is 72 at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport, 72 here at my home studios, and 72 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. We were talking earlier about a couple of events that have been canceled for the fall. Fort Henry Days for this coming weekend have been canceled because of health department issues. All the Labor Day events going on at Oglebay continuing, the fireworks, the symphony, and so on, but the actual Fort Henry Days at the moment canceled. And I say at the moment only because the health department said you could have the reenactment. You can do the reenactment on the hillside, and people can spread out, and then people can watch that. But when they added campers and vendors and made it much more of a festival kind of thing, then it began to get in violation of the governor's order. So can't have that, all of that. Will Fort Henry Days decide to revamp a little bit and just go with a reenactment? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe yes. Who knows? But at the moment, Fort Henry Days itself off the agenda. But the weekend activities at Oglebay still continue. However, Oglebay Fest, the first weekend in October, has been canceled now. 43rd annual Oglebay Fest has been canceled because of concerns about just not quite really feeling comfortable putting the event on in the midst of COVID time. And I remember the very first Oglebay Fest 43 years ago. I was at the first one. I was at almost all of them. Probably for 10 or 15 years, I suppose I was at every one of them. Many of them I even performed at. I sang the Oglebay Fest song off the text line at 304-214-1600. Howard sang at the first Oglebay Fest, and they still had a second? Well, I think the people that came to watch me sing probably have been to the Rathskeller first, few beers, they didn't think I was that bad. At least that's the way that's what I'm going to suggest happen. Hey, listen, by now you've probably heard about FanDuel Sportsbook's world-class sports betting app. We've been talking about it for many, many months now. FanDuel makes it easy to find and easy to place your bets. They've got some of the best odds you're going to find anywhere, and they've even get you your winnings in as little as 24 hours, which is a pretty big deal in the online sports betting world because not all of the sports books do that, and they get your winnings to you relatively quickly. So there are a lot of reasons to try FanDuel Sportsbook, and I just mentioned some of them. But here is one more. Right now, new users can place their bets on FanDuel Sportsbook risk-free and get up to $1,000 back in site credit if you don't win. In other words, you can bet anything you want to, up to $1,000 in your very first time betting. And if you win, and that's great. Take your money and run. But if you lose, they will not take the money out of your account. They will replenish your account with up to $1,000 if you bet that much. They'll put it back in your account, and then you will have a period of time to reuse that bet again. So it's a risk-free first bet. I always say try and take a long shot the first time around if you want to, because if you lose, you're not going to lose anything. Then be a little more careful the second bet if you like to, because there you could lose. So check this all out at FanDuel, the #1 sportsbook app. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. Be sure to sign up with my name and the promo code Monroe, MONROE. That way they know that I sent you. Remember, I got to remind you that you must be 21 or older. You must be present in West Virginia, physically present in West Virginia. Actually, you can also be physically present in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Those are the states that have legalized this. It's your first online real money wager only. The refund is issued as a non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. So if you make that bet, they will hold that money in your account and you lose, that up to $1,000 will stay in your account for 14 days, and you can reuse it in that next 14 days. After that, they will take it from you. Restrictions do apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And remember, if you enjoy gaming and it's fun, and do it and be happy about it. Play a little, lose a little, win a little, life goes on. However, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code Monroe. FanDuel Sportsbook, more ways to win. Coming up today here on the Watchdog, it's Wednesday, so we have all sorts of different things for you coming up on Wednesdays. Coming up at 10, of course, statewide talk line with Hoppy Kirchwell. Among his guests, Biffy, today, once again, the bromance is on.
Chris Steyerwalt is back.
Chris Steyerwalt, Wheeling native, now Fox News political editor, and he and Hoppy, sometimes I think they should just get a room. They seem to love each other so much. Chris and Hoppy together today on statewide talk line. At 12 o'clock, of course, over to the news desk of WTRF-TV for live coverage of the midday news. And then at noon on AM 1600 WKKX and FM 98.1, it's Your Wheeling. No two ways about it, with Wheeling Mayor Glenn Elliott and Vice Mayor Chad Thalman. And on WVLY, FM 97.7 and AM 1370, it's Butch Maxwell's Complete Waste of Airtime. Now, that's not a pejorative suggestion of mine. That's what Bush calls it, the complete waste of airtime. Then at 1 o'clock, it's Olivia and Sonia the ladies have their say for a while. And coming up today, and this is interesting to me at least, I don't know about the rest of you, coming up today on the afternoon drive, Donnie Gilbert is back in. Dancing with Dr. G today at noon from 2 to 5, not at noon, from 2 to 5. It's the Donnie Gilbert radio show on the afternoon drive today. And he is going to be having a reunion of the gang from Womp FM. God, we had a lot of fun back in those days. Lord help us. It was a great time to be in radio back in the old days of Womp FM. It's going to be the first of a two-part series. Some of the old Womp FM DJs are going to be back, opening the phone lines for you to talk about the memories you have of that classic radio station here in the Ohio Valley. It was, and I was there as part of that team, it was one of the highest-rated radio stations in America at the time. So that conversation gets underway today with Donnie Gilbert beginning at 2 o'clock, 2 to 5 today. The afternoon drive with Donnie Gilbert. You can listen on air. You can load the TuneIn radio app. You can listen online at watchdognetwork.com if you choose to. So a lot of good stuff coming up today here on the Watchdog. Tomorrow, Donnie is back for the afternoon drive. He'll be up at Quaker Steak and Lube tomorrow. And Friday for the afternoon drive, as always on Fridays, it is Jerry and the gang with the Friday afternoon walkthrough. Always a lot of fun with that, so you want to check in with that as well. The afternoon drive, 2 to 5 every day here on the Watchdog Radio Network. Coming up next hour, talk to Wheeling Mayor Glenn Elliott a bit about this Economic Development Commission or committee. I don't know if it's a committee or commission, what they call it. It is required by the charter that there be one. There hasn't been one for a while. The mayor's kind of reactivating it. But I'm curious as to what it is he sees this commission is going to do. how he anticipates it acting, and maybe who's he planned to put on it, because it isn't going to be just city officials. I think he's going to have business leaders in it and so on. So we'll talk to Mayor Elliott about that coming up next hour. Plus, I've got UFOs and jetpacks and a whole bunch of other goofy stuff I want to share with you. And then we'll turn things over to the Watchdogs beginning at 9 o'clock. We are the Watchdog Morning Show. It is a Wednesday. Hump day, hump day. And it's just about 8 o'clock as we head to ABC. They cover the world now.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC.